Hey guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin. Priscilla here for another edition, actually the second edition, this is day 2, of hashtag mods in the scrattic. A scrattic is a scrappy attic. That's what it's fun for me, okay? So that's what I called it. I don't know why I'm getting so defensive. I just started the video. But a scrattic is just a fun little play on words for scraps, because we have all these scraps that we keep in our attics, metaphorically speaking, and we're going to use them up in this challenge, or I'm going to use up mine. I don't know about you. If you're joining in, you're definitely using yours up too. And today's prompt is corrugated, and I actually have a scrap of corrugated paper left over from packaging. I use this paper to protect the edges of my mini albums and stuff when I send them out. Especially if they have overhanging edges and stuff like that. And I had a little piece left over that I was like, oh, perfect, there's my scrap. Don't worry, I used another scrap too, because the goal is to get rid of these freaking scraps. So I have this little scrap of wrongly scored paper that ended up just in the scrap box, and I'm just gonna distress them because I want them to be chunky grungy. We're just gonna make some simple what do you call them? I'm sure it's in the title of the video because I remembered it by then. It is a type of collage. Hold on. It's like a snippet, but it's not. A cluster. Those are the words I was looking for. See, I got there. I knew I would eventually. Thanks for your faith in me. So at any rate, we're just going to make these little scrappy little clusters using up some scrap papers, our moths, and this little bit of corrugation. And I want to make them grungy and fun. So we're going to ink them up a little bit so there's not just a plain bit of craft paper. Nothing super fancy, because I know most of this is going to get covered anyways by the stuff we put on top, but just a little pop of color, a little something here or there. Then I have a bunch of these scrap laces left over, actually from my, what's it called, Shabby Creep Challenge. I coffee dyed a whole batch of little scrappy bits of lace, non-scrappy bits of lace, just giant chunks of lace, because I had no idea, no concept of how much lace I was going to use. And surprisingly, I did use half of the lace that was in there for that challenge, and it still wasn't enough. It was not enough. I could not get rid of them that way. So I have a bag full of this lace that needs to get used up. So I'm going to try to use a bunch of it for this one too, because that's the goal, is to use what we have and get rid of things that we just are keeping scraps of to make room for all the new things we can make scraps out of, right? So I'm using my little whitewash paint here to go over and just give a really dry brushing of paint on top of that corrugation so that it has more of a shabby look to it. And then I'm going over the top of that with some embossing powder. This is actually a gold embossing powder that I accidentally dumped a bunch of silver into, and then instead of getting upset, decided that this was now my new vintage embossing powder. So if you want a quick way to make a vintage looking embossing powder, this is the way. You mix up gold and silver. If you want to go extra vintage, add a little bit of black to it so you can get those little grungy spots in there. I think I might actually go back and add a little bit of black to this mix further on down the road. But I really love it. It comes out, I don't know how to describe it. It's not distinctly gold, not distinctly silver, somewhere in between, but you can still see the little bits. It's mottled. It's got a cool effect. Really cool effect. And I just think it makes everything look old and rusticy, like the metal is patinaed already. I don't know how to describe it to you guys, but I really like it. So while the paint was still wet, I added that to the paint and then embossed it, and then made it a point to get really close with my heat gun so that as the paint was drying, it would bubble up and add more texture. That's how we created more texture on this already textured piece of paper. Regardless to say, I really like how this came out. And then at the end of it, I was like, I need to go get one of those paper crimpers that turns paper into corrugated sheets, because it's cool. And I don't have a ton of this corrugated cardstock left. I just had it for the purposes I had it for before, but now I'm I need more. So I'm gonna go get one of those paper crinklers thingies. I don't know, they're $10. I might go grab one just to see if it's something I'll use more often, but I do really like this. So yeah, we layered up our laces. Now I'm adding in our little corrugated pieces, and then we're gonna get some moths on here. We're gonna do some cool things, and it's all gonna come together really, really nicely. I'm actually really loving how this is coming out. It's just delightfully grungy. I'm not mass making by any means. I could mass make, and that would really eat up the scraps in a way that's very satisfying. But I don't want to bog myself down or overwhelm myself with having to make like 20 of something. So I'm trying to keep it simple. I decided to work in like groups of 3 where like applicable. I'm not going to do 3 of everything, but you know, for now, I'm working in groups of 3. Now it's going to use up a fair bit of scraps. And then, yeah, so I had planned on using the moss, but I hadn't planned on using the leaves. So then I was like, okay, like, let's go back and figure out how to use these leaves. Because I cut out all these leaves out of, like, some of the scraps that I had, which did eat up a lot of, my scrap section. So that is a strategy if you are looking at how to get rid of your scrap pile, especially if you have plain paper scraps or like not that interesting visually scraps. Die cut them. Die cut them, die cut them, die cut them. Get rid of them that way. Because at the end of the day, they're not wasted. Even if you don't use them for something, you're going to eventually come around and use your die cuts for something. So that's the way to go. So, yeah, so I ended up using up a bunch of the plain paper scraps I had by die cutting them, and so I was like, well, you put all that effort into die cutting them, you might as well use them. So what I did was go over these with some vintage photo, just like really roughly, just catching the edges and stuff on the top, and then I added more of that gold and silver embossing powder to it. So that it would catch on the wet bits. And so we have this very distressed, very grungy looking leaf that also sort of calls forth the colors that are in the corrugation. So it all sort of ties in together. That's where my brain is going on this one. And then we're just gonna assemble it. It's such a straightforward, such an easy little project that uses up a couple of little scrappy pieces. And I'm really loving how it came out. Like the effect is very effective. The effect is affecting, you know what I mean? Like, it's coming through really nicely, and yeah, I don't know, I really enjoy this one. They're really pretty, and I honestly could go back and make a ton more, and I might at a later point. I now have the inspiration, my little example here if I want to go back and make more. So I think that's like kind of the thing. Like I said, I'm not going to mass make because I don't want that stress of having to make a bunch of stuff and then store a bunch of stuff, and then like the time it takes to make a bunch as opposed to just making 3 or 4 at a time. You know, it's considerably different amount of time. So I'm not going to do that to myself, but I do have the inspiration, the jumping off point here. So if I want to come back and revisit this concept, I can. I already have my examples made, so I know what I'm doing, what I'm working with, and I can make something similar going forward in the future. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about how these came out. If you're going to give them a shot, what are you doing for the prompt of corrugation? I'm very interested to see what everybody's going to make for this. It's just going to be so fun. I'm loving this challenge already. We're only 2 days into it, and I'm like head over heels for this challenge. I'm having such a good time, and I hope that you guys are too. Let me know what you think, though. I would genuinely like to know. I will tell you that after this was done, after I got done recording, I went back and added a little word, like a little tiny word to them, because I just felt like it needed that pop and it brought it to life a little bit. But otherwise, yeah, like fun, beautiful, Picasso. I like it. And that's going to be it for me. Come back tomorrow and see what we do for hashtag Mods in the Scratic. Make sure that you check out the hashtag and see what everybody else is making. I appreciate your faces, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Happy crafting and goodbye.